I think this is one of those songs which actually deserves a bit more specific attention, because the music video version, which we're gonna watch today, is cutting a substantial amount of the actual song duration. That's a detail which is actually pretty important to me and which was always very frustrating when watching reactions to it. I really like the song, and as far as I know, it's also one of Shu's favorite songs, like in his top 10. I heard him mention this several times in interviews. So what we're gonna do, of course, in our typical fashion, is to look at both versions whenever it is appropriate. Yeah, and aside from that, I just hope everything works. I'm holding this mic again here, so I don't know if there's enough contrast to actually see it. But yeah, anyway, so we actually have to zap out of the music video for a sec to go into an unofficial upload of the original song, because we have a really cool intro, and it's like a shame that it was cut out. Well, I guess this is gonna be more of an analysis than anything else today, but isn't that so nice, guys? Stopping right here, because that's where the song starts. Full retard mode. Unga bunga. Yo, come on! The arpeggios. Come on! They just cut out a whole freaking section. Holy moly, dude. This song has actually a very nice drive. We heard a lot of similarities stylistically to what was established in the album before, and you kind of see like where all of this build-up has led to, right? It started off with this airy speed metal style at the beginning of the album, right? The first few songs were like that, and it ends off with it. I think it's a very simple melody. Like almost reminds me a bit of like this canon in D type of thing. You could almost sing, like you could sing Destiny over this, right? The melody from the song. But I also like want to take a look a bit at the visual style of the video. It's pretty bright, so we have this like these shining lights, which were a motif in the vocals before in some song. They have this very simplified color scheme. Also, these constructs here you usually encounter on like stages, which was also like a thing. Like I'm seeing myself in the bright light of the stages, right? Powerful scream here. And it's like Shu's hand. I've seen him playing this live so many times at this point. It's like routine for me. That's cool how the guitar hammers here. The guitar sound is so energetic here, and it also leads very strongly into this next section where it flies a bit. Right, it drops down. It drops down in like steps. Here we're having this drifting feather idea. Show is really into it. They're always performing way more strongly than stuff like that would actually look like. It's really funny sometimes to look at this. But it really has an effect. It elevates the music, actually. If you see him sing like this, it does something with you. And I like his hair. I just like his hair in this one. Love those runs. Let's go. There's quite some stuff ahead of us, so let's just look how it continues here. There's at least another verse. A lot of tremolo in this song. Love the tension and release. Nothing new with Galneryus, but like how the tremolo, you know, is this really tight channeling of energy in some sense, and then these loosened up arpeggio chord sections, and also with the moods, right? Because it's mostly a very bright song. This is like one of the go-to bright melodic power metal songs Galneryus is actually fabricated, and it still goes into that darker mood for a second in this transition. It works very well, and especially in the second verse where they always experiment a bit to bring in change, you know, restricting those chords, making those pauses. They're actually telling an evolving story here. Let's go a bit back. Right here. A solution is popping up for the problem or something. Now letting loose a bit. I love this. Really high violence in this. You already feel it coming. Yo! That's like the ultimate prog fest here. The drums. The drums are so crazy. Just look at the tension this builds, right? The bass is playing the same thing. This is actually one of the favorite solo sections for sure. Like, I don't remember quite if he refers to this solo in between the song or the solo at the end of the song, but like one of those it is. I think what's phenomenal about the song is actually like the contrast here. They have this neoclassical dark section where for a second they're dwelling around in this like a darker place, and it's really cool because it's always trying to break out and it sounds elegant and dark in the same way, right? And then it builds up this tension and then releases it full force with that tapping part. It's like you're drowning in a sea of tapped notes, which is so cool. And I've seen people who said, well, this is kind of not one of their best solos because it's not that melodic or whatever. It's like just mindless shredding. I really think if that's like a fitting choice to do this, is that some of the best build-ups in my opinion from all the solo payoffs we have in Galneryus. It's kind of a good choice, right? I mean, we are filled with power. Oh, I forgot the trumpets. Those are the classic Beyond the End of Despair trumpets. Chivalrous. And here it synchronizes from this offbeat idea. It's really twisted in this part. The shrub notes in there. Just trying to break out upward. Sinking down. The cry is coming in. Double pedals. Sounds so majestic with the choirs, and when he rises up, you know. Like bombs dropping here. Overperforming here as well. Need to absolutely listen to this again. I think he doesn't even sing words here. He just wants to bring in that feeling, you know, with that high note. I don't think those are words. The song just makes happy, man. I don't know what else to say. Synchronized headbanging going on. Another hit with the violin. Sorry, but that's actually just so nice how the moods evolve here. It's just always really nice if they take this melodic landscape we know so far from the song and just like continue this story, right, into another direction, which is more dramatic. Right here it starts like the continuation. This progression here. That's it. That's the He's hitting the pose. He is hitting the freaking pose. I don't know, like, show, you know, I think show a stage presence. I don't know if I talked about this at some point in the past, but he almost seems a bit like an old person, right? He has a bit of that awkwardness to it, but I think it's really charming. But it's just really cool when he hits poses like that. It actually genuinely looks cool in my opinion. I'm sorry, maybe it's just my taste or whatever. Also, here we get a little bit of a sharper view on Taka when he's actually a bit younger. Our trivia person mentioned that there's actually not so much known about his background, like where he's coming from or how old he is or something. Yeah, it's just cool that we get a shot here because like most of the stuff is really blurry intentionally, right? Because you are supposed to drown in that light. And you also see that actually here, he has that light on his head, like this fade. This could be by accident, right? But it also could be very intentional because that's literally what they were singing about during the album, right? It's like, I always like if those details are in there, and because it shows to me that there is an actual like intention behind that they are actually singing and like playing the music, like that it's about something specific. This like tight, very fast switch between different moods and the story which is built by this, right? By these vastly differing tensions. It's always fascinating to me because it's actually, it feels like you're traveling at a really fast speed through all of those majestic places, right? Heavy choirs in the background and the violins and everything is flying around, and just a perfect mix of heaviness and actually cool stuff and the classical bits about it. So yeah, I guess that's all I can say about that. There wasn't much analysis on the music video, because it actually was pretty basic. The older music videos, you know, they always had a kind of metaphoric, visual, symbolic concept with some cool gothic imagery or something. That wasn't the case here. It was just like modern, simple stage setup, and they might have thought that it would be enough to have the light and stage idea because it was very in alignment with the themes the album actually dealt with. And I actually think that's the case. It transfers the feeling of the song very well, and there wouldn't have been any metaphor necessary. Later songs or later music videos show a bit more like fantasy imagery again, which is pretty cool as well. So not much to say about that. And I actually decided we're gonna listen to the music first and then look at the lyrics. So lyrics section, will come after as well. So let's just keep it going with The Road Goes On. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the final song of the album. Let's give ourselves a little pat on the back. He starts his phrase always like this. Whoa. That's very 80s, as far as I know. The smooth transitions. Wow. Just to mention that real quick, it's really cool. You see how that introduces a different mood. It has a bit of a heroic slash, I think almost a bit Asian feel, perhaps because it's playing with a pentatonic or something, but I'm no expert in that. My ears are not trained well enough to hear that out, but something of that reminds me of it. But we're introducing a certain heroic mood, which we didn't have throughout the album, which is interesting. So The Road Goes On. They also throw in a little preview, a little teaser for what might be coming next. And also the smooth switching between the moods here. Just to mention that for a second. I don't have much experience from music like from the 80s or stuff, but there's quite some, Yngwie Malmsteen songs and stuff. We heard the slow rhythm we have there in the background, which is something you don't hear really often. And they also have this like fairy tale-esque synth sound they brought in, which we had a bit in the like Cause Disarray Alsatia era, which I always hold very dearly because I actually really like the mood. Yeah, they brought in all of that stuff. So it feels like they want to move a bit more into heroic fantasy territory again, which is of course something I really appreciate because that was just a really cool element in early Galneryus. Also the drama that's built here. Let's go. Whoa. Love that development. Here it really channels that light, that like soothing feeling to it. He has really found that long bends for himself, I guess, when he transitions into the last note with an actual bend that ends on a soothing note, on a comfortable note, because we have to remember, of course, it had this bright feeling in the beginning because it was almost feeling like a dawn, a new bright future is dawning in the beginning of the album, but it dealt with a lot of struggle and uncertainty and stuff throughout. We had a lot of darker, heavier albums in the past, but sorry, I'm just always looking if my camera is still recording. But we just have to visualize for a second what moods are actually created here. So it starts with this dawning feeling, but there's still a bit of inner struggle, and I have to find my place, and I have to find certainty and stuff. Just it ends with that warm, soothing, like I can relax now. And this is how a lot of songs felt like, right? We had this trouble, this turmoil. There were quite some songs which were extremely chaotic. And then after that followed some poles of, okay, I can relax now for a bit. And this I can relax now seems to like have been completed after this album. It's pretty much telling a full story of finding this relaxed state, I guess. While also keeping this bright vision for the future. Again, really well portrayed by this dragon image. And this is also perhaps why this dragon was brought back in their newest album. Yeah, just wanted to throw out those thoughts on this general album and stuff. So let's take a look at the lyrics for Destiny. I would assume this also includes Japanese translations. Yeah, this is one of those songs which actually starts with the chorus and at a rather high note with at that. So this is one of the songs where it's decided really fast, like if one is suited to listen to Galneryus, and especially like show era Galneryus, or if it's not for you. I don't know anyone I can show this music to, especially this songs like this, because I just know they won't like it, right? And that's fine, I guess. It's just I like the band, so that's why I'm making videos for people who actually like the band. So yeah, destiny is calling you, passing through the edge of your heart. We're not a loss anymore, and look up your future. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna try to reproduce that high note he's singing, which is actually much higher than the note he started off with. He's really telling you what's up in that very first seconds of the song. And again, this trickling down idea, right? I remember from the melody, it's always this sinking down, like something, soothing, a feather, like drifting through the sky. It has something soft about it in the melody. We can be confident now. Destiny is calling you. Like you can feel that something is pulling you in, passing through the depths of your heart, right? The lower parts, which were covered with a darker mood, are also addressed here. We're not a loss anymore, and look up your future. That was something which was dealt with, I guess. Actually, the song preceding right before Destiny, that was a last song where doubts were channeled, and those seem to be completely solved now. Let's go into the verse. I won't be lost anymore. I won't keep worrying anymore. The moment I looked up, I realized everything, all the mistakes I've made so far. And then the pre-chorus, where the mood switches to something more drifting. I should never lose sight of myself again. We're both looking at the same star. So there are these parties which seem to have been enemies before, which are now becoming allies at some sort. I understood it in a way that at least it makes most sense that he's like addressing two parts of himself, right? Being in a conflict with one another. And this conflict seems to have been resolved because they have found a goal they both pursue, right? We're both looking at the same star. That seems to be the solution for this conflict. And also the way this is portrayed, right? The way this is sung. Those are singular statements which are sang like in singular lines with an answer of the guitar and stuff. It's almost like a mantra or something. I won't keep worrying anymore. The moment I looked up, I realized everything, all the mistakes I've made so far, right? He has this looking up element with the light coming down onto him. And I just had to look up. I was looking down and I just saw the depressing side of things. And I just looked up and then everything made sense in a way. It's of course meant metaphorically, but not only, I guess. I should never lose sight of myself again. Like they're recognizing essentially that they were lost from the right track and that there was such a thing as a right track and they found it again. Destiny is calling you, passing through your edge of heart. We're not a loss anymore, and look up your future, and surely we'll unite once again. We're filled with power, don't lose the past, gone with the steel. And this is the full integrated chorus with added lines, and surely we'll unite once again. We united during the album, then there were these doubts and this conflict, and now we're surely we'll unite once again. We're filled with power. I guess that's what we're feeling throughout the entire album and perhaps throughout the entire discography of Galneryus. Sometimes that's just necessary. Don't lose the past, gone with the steel. And that's, I think, a nice nod to early Galneryus days where they sang a lot of steel. Like steel was a really strong metaphor and you shouldn't lose that past. You have to remember what was going on there because you can learn a lot from that time, which happened also. Like there was a certain remembrance of what was learned in earlier Galneryus times or like in one's own past, and that was integrated. And this was kind of a way to figure out the solution for the problem posed here. There's nowhere left to run. Nothing left to carry. The moment I looked up, I realized everything, all the mistakes I've made. Interesting. So perhaps there's no excuses anymore and nothing left to carry. Perhaps no burdens left to carry. There's only the path I see I have to travel now. And that's great because that's where I want to go. Another pre-chorus. I shouldn't ever feel like I'm losing myself again. We're both looking at the same star. So pretty similar with a little change to it. I shouldn't ever feel like I'm losing myself again. It's not that only that it shouldn't happen again. I should never feel like it again. Then the same chorus, and I would be surprised if that chorus is actually gonna change up at some point because I think it's supposed to establish this idea really firmly that surely is one of those songs which wants to hammer that chorus into you because it's like very important and the triumph over the conflict which is resolved during the album. Then after the guitar solo, we have another pre-chorus and the rest is in English. And here as well, I would be surprised if there was any change to this. Oh, there is a light that seemed about to fade away. Guide me once more. We're both looking at the same star. And this is this channeling the springing back of the light, which was lost, or which was seemingly lost. It was a bit of muddy, which conflict actually played out during the last few albums, referring to the last few albums of the Yamabi era. Because from the point onwards where we had, how was that song called? I think it was like after Beyond the Endless Despair, after the first trilogy ended, there was like a break, and it was always the struggle with, okay, I have to move on, I have to leave that light back. And it was a bit weird, right? But it seems to be also referring back to that idea in some sense, that there was always the notion of losing something in a dramatic way, and just apparently it has come back in form of this star. And yet another chorus, and ending off with a actually post-chorus, which just is put atop of that, right? Destiny is calling you, but you don't believe it. Keeper of the resurrection is standing alone, and surely will unite once again with strong faith. Live to survive, live for my life, just like those stars. Isn't that a nice way to end this off? Especially because they're singing this together. It's just a really cool, nice idea. It's off well musically, and it ends off with an extremely nice solo, which just keeps on pondering, but actually still gets very dramatic in the end. And this is also like one of the parts I really like to sing along. I don't know, it just resonates a lot. Destiny is calling you, but you don't believe it. I don't know what it is exactly, but I guess that's just a universal thing where sometimes like you feel you should do something like in life, right? Something pulls you in, but you still have like doubts or fears which prohibit you from doing it. And this is really just one of those songs which outlines this. Not really telling you you should do this or that, but you know, it's calling you, but you don't believe it. But this is how I dealt with it, essentially. Keeper of the resurrection is standing alone. I don't even know what to do with that, but I appreciate the metaphoric imagery. And surely will unite once again with strong faith. And it's this expectance, right? They haven't united in the past because that's not what creates a strong feeling. A strong feeling is created by like this expectance that this is gonna happen, right? This is this light at the top where the dragon is flying up. It's gonna happen in the future, and we're sure about that. Live to survive, live for my life. This dichotomy almost, because live to survive, this is like survival mode, right? You're having those fears and doubts. That's literally that mode. And live for my life is like basically live for the things I want to do, the things I'm driven to do, the things destiny is calling me to do, right? Just like those stars, like you're doing both. I mean, it's the same thing with the like music business, right? I mean, you have to consider that it's not just fun and games. It's also like a business. You have to make money. There's a lot of like money and production behind all of these songs and music videos and shows. And you always have to consider that it's like those two sides which have to cooperate. And this leads me to the conclusion actually that, of course, which makes sense, that these songs also throughout the album have dealt with this struggle between those two sides of creating art, which is like a very central conflict in this day and age. And he just concludes that the stars are living in the same way. They also have these same sides, right? They're expanding and they're like spreading their own light, but they also have this other aspect, this live to survive aspect. I don't even know how to transfer that exactly, but I guess that's the implication here. This is a really long video, but I just wanted to look back a bit and just like zapping a bit through the album and just see what a bit of those highlights were. I usually pick 3 favorite songs or something. Of course, it always changes, so this is like no set in stone conclusion or anything. It's really something subjective. So if you want to share your like 3 top songs of the album, perhaps even like with reasons why, I would be interested to hear, because there's very differing opinions on those songs, and that's just very cool. Looking a bit in United Blood again. Really proggy mood there in the beginning. I actually remember this, this already has this heroic mood it had in the outro song. So it was already teased at the beginning of the album, but interestingly, it wasn't continued specifically during the album. It just wrapped in the album in this heroic mood. Yeah, and then of course, Burn My Heart and Carry On. I remember those as being very similar songs. This has a bit of more of this drifting character. but the way it's strolling and it's just uplifting and it just gives it a very good mood. And I just like, again, how it feels like this. It has this dawning feeling of it, like really bright dawn, and also it brings in a like playful, adventurous element to all of this. It's a really cool introduction to the album. We also had so many cool guitar solos. I'm sorry if I'm just moving through here pretty fast, but I just like want to get some impressions again to remember like what all of that was. Carry on. Starts really loud. Right, we have that idea quite sometimes here. It's even more, it has even more energy to it than the first song. Still, it has the same bright mood to it. That's a strong one, actually. They're all strong, but I really like this calm chorus and this contrast with the like dark choirs coming in. We already have this dark element there. But again, so many cool songs, Destinations. I remember, I think this song was written by Taka. Bit more of the emotional side. We don't see that often in this style by Galneryus. But also interesting with the like heavy elements to it. It's oscillating really between these heavy elements and these lighter moods. Awesome song. And then we're already at Still Loving You. I think this one really struck something within me with its like fast pace and just chaotic mood. It had everything, like heroic and like, groovy and all of that. And the swing to it. It still managed to be metal, you know? Like entertaining guitar solo, just really basic melody, but it's catchy. It has these like gallops in the background in the chorus. Just such a fun song. I think this might be one of the songs in the top 3. And of course, Emotions. Just the way it swept through those moods. And then just how it switches to the tension. It's also, I think, a phenomenal song. Save you returning a bit back to the mood, but it has this really cool intro to it. Absolutely love it. How the melody travels here on this like bass of guitar tremolo. It's really good. Yeah, interesting harmonic movements there. Also, awesome solo section. Have to say, Power of Distance, dude. There are so many good songs. I have to pick top 5. It's impossible to pick top 3. I just realized this now. They're all so good songs. I can't, man. We just recently listened to this, right? It's also just a wow with his voice. Just when it starts off there, I mean, come on. It's like butter. It's really. It's such a good fit for this song. I love it. And the drum sound. We don't have to listen to all of that, but it's just, it draws you in. Awesome song. Fall in the Dark also surprised me. Just look how this starts. Just look how this starts already. That is the heavy song of the album. Always appreciate it. Stylistically unique in this album, also. I think this is where he gets louder, right? With a drone and everything. Awesome. They had more bland songs, which were the heavy songs of the album. This is like a really fun, heavy song from Galneryus, I must say. Again, very fun keyboard solos by Yuki. And then of course we have Destiny and The Road Goes On. We don't have to listen to that again. So okay, I'm having to make my picks now. I'm trying not to rely too much on nostalgia or something. Well, I guess Destiny is definitely in it. So I'm not ranking those 5, right? I'm just saying which 5 were like my favorites this time around. Destiny is definitely one of them. Still Loving You has also really surprised me. I guess it's always those who have really surprised me, right? Fall in the Dark has also totally surprised me. Well, let's say Fall in the Dark is also in it. And for all the others, I must really say it depends on the solos. So I think like I just battled out Burn My Heart versus Carry On, and those songs are both phenomenal. I think for me it's Carry On. It has a bit more edge to it that just vibes with me, and I guess it's that increased energy which is actually also the intention in this song. You know, the final pick just feels completely random to me, so I'm just gonna give it to Emotions because it's like a really good instrumental song, but it could have been every other song as well. So let's see, we have Carry On, Still Loving You, Emotions, Fall in the Dark, and Destiny, right? Those are my 5. But it's really hard for this album. It's just so good. So yeah, tell me your picks, top 3, top 5, even top 1, like whatever you wanna share. Always really interested in the data, you know, how the tastes can differ and stuff. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you even like, if you're even still watching this is probably a rather long video. So yeah, thanks for watching, and with I guess have still a bit of things to listen to before we're moving on to the next album. But I guess this was already really fun, a fun entry into the show era. Yeah, and I hope you also had a bit of fun with this. See you next time, and stay sharp or whatever. Again, I can't reach this